Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I'm outside the laundromat and car wash, and it is Fun Car Friday, so we got the Diablo out, and hopefully it doesn't look too bad. I'm looking to the west here, where the storms usually come from. We don't have any rain or hail headed our way, but there is a storm kind of kicking up over the mountains there, so I can't spend too much time here. But I brought my drone, so I've got some cool drone footage of the building, collecting quarters to see what our second week has. As far as revenue, we'll see if we have more or less, since we really had no idea when I bought the property. And we have some other new stuff that's already done on the property, so that's exciting. And then we've got a lot more stuff planned. Let's see. We'll start off talking about some of the good stuff. First, my contractor parked right in the front, but I was hoping to park the Diablo right in front, because that is an amazingly good free marketing tool for my businesses. So I also own a liquor store, mini mart, and I'll drive my cars up there quite a bit, and gets lots of attention, people stopping at the store. And we already had people stopping over here too. So I know people know about the laundromat and car wash in town, but a lot of them don't know it changed ownership. We're working on it, we're trying to make it better. I actually have golf league every Wednesday, and the two gentlemen we played in golf league were from this town. And I told them I bought this car wash, and they're like, oh really, like, are you gonna fix it up? I'm like, yep. They're like, oh, it really needs it. We used to use it all the time, the car wash, not the laundromat, and we don't anymore. But so hopefully there's a lot of demand here once we get things fixed up. My contractor talked to another guy who stopped by and asked if the old owner was fixing it up, and they said no, we have changed ownership. And he lives, I don't think you can see it, but there's some kind of apartments down there a few blocks. And he said in the past they had a group of like 8 to 10 people who would all come together, do their laundry together, have like a laundry party here, and there's benches outside, and they just hang out, and they stopped doing it just because the machines didn't work, it wasn't being kept up. So hopefully once we get all that going, then we'll have a lot more business coming. So it's not making a ton right now, that's for sure, but I think it has a lot of potential and could do much better than it's doing right now. Oh, and here is the apartment. The work has started here, so that's nice. We no longer have the vending machine plugged in through a hole in the wall into this outlet, because we fixed the other outlet in that other room. The carpet's out. It smells, at least the carpet in here. We no longer have the green carpet, sorry. So that's much better. We'll have a door here soon, because you don't want your furnace in the bedroom. And then here's the bathroom. Not much happening there. And then it's kind of weird. This is the main door to the bathroom, and it didn't even have a door over there. So you just had to hope nobody's in the bedroom if you're using the bathroom, I guess. In the kitchen, not much has changed here. So we have a lot more stuff. Fixing the holes in the ceiling here. It's a little dirty, but this carpet is getting taken out, so that doesn't matter. And then yeah, back here goes through to the laundromat. We replaced this door with a keypad block, so that's more secure, and we can get into it if we ever need to without going through the apartment. If we don't have our keys with us, we don't really want to leave a lockbox here. We fixed the O-rings. Last video, no water at all, anywhere. So that's fantastic. There's always water in here. We're still working on ordering supplies, and yeah, everything else is going pretty good here. And something else we have now, not a sign yet, no paint yet, we have an open sign. And I was hoping you could see it a little better. I'm sure at night you can see it just fine. But I wonder if we can adjust that so it goes right up against the window. Or I might need a brighter one. That was like the best-selling model, but it's not as bright as I hoped it would be from the outside. New door, we'll talk about that. And yes, this outlet wasn't working because they had taken the power from that to run the lock on their door, which we'll talk about here soon. So now the vending machine is plugged in where it's supposed to be and not through the wall to the apartment. So we are making progress. A brand new door, and I didn't mention it before because I thought it was crazy dangerous. I didn't want, like, I don't know, it was weird. The way they had it set up before, is we need to put the hours back up somewhere. But probably won't use a manila folder to do that like it was there before. The door would open at 7 automatically, and then it would lock at 9, and it was like a timer in back with a magnetic lock up here. And if it locked while people were still in here, someone had to come let them out. They could not get out unless someone came and physically opened the door for them. So I think actually it closed at 10. So actually the hours were 7 to 9, and then or 9:45 something. But they said last load at 9, and then the door actually locked at 10. So I want to get that changed ASAP. Now we have this lock that automatically opens and locks like the other one does, but you can unlock it from the inside if you're stuck in here, which is I feel much better about now. Okay, so I got my drone out finally. I've actually had this drone for a few years, maybe longer, but rarely use it. The battery doesn't last that long, and it's had some issues, but it's a DJI Spark, and I try to get it out and use it for my parking lot, because we're redoing our parking lot. You'll actually see some of it here in a little bit at the end of this video, the parking lot of my office, and there's a laundromat right there. I want to show what it looked like from above. But the app was on my old phone, which I replaced, and I couldn't get the new app for the Spark because I discontinued the drone. I had to download it from like some weird site that told me not to download it from, and I tried it and it worked, so I got it working. But it does give us some video from up above. You can see what the property looks like. The car wash is right there, the inside bay. It's got an outside bay there, which had some issues that we'll talk about here in just a little bit. While I was there, you can see our dumpster where we've been cleaning stuff out. You can see the roofs of the buildings and the shop behind it. You can see the neighboring property next to me. And then the police station is right there on the very top left. A brand new building. They just spent a ton of money remodeling that. So we did a flip here. It's Kersey, Colorado. We did a flip here a couple of years ago, and I don't know if you remember the house. It was rough. It had a huge shop next to it, but the shop didn't come with the land. And while we were doing that flip, they completely remodeled that police station. I mean, they tore, it was an older building, and they gutted all of it except for like the exterior brick walls. So it's a really nice building. And then while I was here, a bunch of people from the police station and I think it's the administration building too, came over and looked at my car and different stuff. So yes, Fun Car Friday is fun for me, but it also helps my businesses too. The liquor store, the mini mart, Blue Steel Real Estate. When I have my cars out, people love to come over and see them and say hi. So it's amazing how many benefits the cars have that people don't realize. And this is the town. It's not huge. It's not very big. We're in northern Colorado. Just have some new storage facilities and outdoor facilities there. That's a newer subdivision. They actually started right before the crash in 08 and only built a few houses before it all went kind of kaput. But they're starting to build there again now, finally. And then, yeah, this is kind of the main part of town to the east of where my building is. There's our pink dumpster. And then, yeah, this is across the street. A lot of people said this was like a really unsafe area because the buildings across the street don't look amazing. They are older. Some haven't really been used for a while, but I don't feel unsafe at all. And then here's what the roof looks like right above it, which was leaking when I first got it, but we think it was just from the swamp cooler, tremendous amounts of rain, and the roof is actually fairly new, so that should be okay. Now we will get to opening up the washers and dryers and seeing how much we did. Not amazing. So I said in the last video or video last week, I want to make sure I don't mix up my boxes now that I got all my keys labeled. We made about $230 some the first week I owned it. So that equated to about $1,000 a month in revenue. That's without any expenses. That one was a much better box. So we know it's not really making much money right now. And this is gonna be the second week. Oh, I cut my finger on something. And hoping things keep getting better. But I was curious if they would, because our contractor's been there working, they've been doing the apartment, and I can imagine that might chase a few people away if they see people working inside or the big trucks in the way. So we'll see. And these dryers have no money in them all the time, and someone commented in my last video, actually a few people did, that they thought you could run them without quarters. I think they're only 25 cents to run for just a few minutes, and they literally get so hot they will wash or dry like 4 loads of laundry in one load. So they're a little too efficient and work too well. So I'm thinking I want to have my appliance guy who's coming here soon look at them and how, you know, we can raise the price on it, or if they are working right, because that one had almost no money as well, and people use them all the time. Everybody who comes in says those are the best dryers they've ever used. They're so fast. You just have to be careful you don't burn yourself because they get so hot. So here are the regular dryers, and that one never has that much in it. The next one usually does. And again, it's slightly, even with labeled keys, tricky getting all these open and closed. And we may want to rethink about changing the price on these too, because I think they're only 50 cents to use. I can't remember. And yeah, so there's nothing in that one. Usually there's at least something in that one. So that was kind of weird. I don't know if that one just didn't get used or what. And then, or maybe people know which one are the best ones. Because this one always tends to have the most in it. Yep, there you go. Even though one of them is out of order, they always use that top one. So I don't know if they just like that top one or what. But yeah, not very much in the dryers compared to the rest of it. Here's our vending machine. And I had some good suggestions before from my last video too about how to make the vending machine looking better, put more goods in there so it looks full. And we have a quarter. Yes, 1 quarter from the vending machine. Well, I was just opening this up and realized my camera wasn't on. So we'll just pretend that I'm opening up. Oh, look at that. Just popped right open. And there's the quarters. Car wash is doing good. Sure, we can do better, but it's not bad at all. And the vacuum, which again is the hard one to open, did fairly well too. Here's the cash machine, which changes quarters or dollars to quarters. And this was interesting to me because sometimes I have to actually bring quarters to the laundromat because people spend more cash than spend quarters. But the last couple of times they have been spending more quarters. So I do have to put some more quarters back in there, but I also have some quarters to take home too. So overall I had almost $10 from the vacuum, about 27 from the car wash, about 31 from the washers, $57 in cash, which isn't free, and then $12.50 from the dryers. So I had $82.25. So I had $183 total this week once you count the weekend, because I already did the weekend. So I made less the second week than the first week. So I'm at below $1,000 a month now. So we figured more out on the vending machine as well. We did put more stuff in there and changed all the prices and put new labels on them all. So hopefully that helps. Let's get more than 25 cents. It was a little tricky figuring out how to set it. I was given these instructions right here, but after a little bit of experimentation, it's actually really easy. You just hit the set button, and then you hit 11 to start from 0 or 12 to start from like $15. Keep hitting it to adjust the price up or down. When you have it where you want it to be, you just type in the number C1, C5 for whatever price you want to change, and then that's it. And then you can check your price by hitting the check and then making sure the price is correct. So that got it done. And so things are going slowly as usual. We are working on the apartment now. Our cleaner has not come here yet, and they've been kind of real slow and not easy to get a hold of lately. So we might have to find a new cleaner, which is a little frustrating. But that was like one of the first things I wanted to have done, and it's not done yet. And the appliance guy didn't show up yet either. So speaking of cleaning, I'll throw this away. We had a contractor who had an appliance guy who's helped us out before and looked at our washers in the Ocho and the complex and been pretty good. Well, he was supposed to come for 2 weeks, and then finally I guess he said one of his workers quit. He just doesn't have time, he can't make it. So I did have another guy who actually reached out to me because of YouTube, who's going to come next week and look at all of these, and he has machines that we could possibly add or change around too. So next week we'll get all the machines looked at and go from there. So making progress, but of course, as always, it's not quite as quick as we would hope it would be. So someone actually came in to use the car wash just now, and they pulled into the outside bay, and then we noticed they pulled back out, went to the inside bay, and I went over there, and he said the outside bay wasn't working. So I looked at it, wasn't working, the inside bay was, went to the car wash mechanical room, and one of the breakers had tripped, so reset that, and it's working again. But that's pretty frustrating if it sets off the breaker on a regular basis. I haven't seen it before, not working. We've had it 2 weeks. I've been here a number of times. So hopefully it's an isolated incident, but that's something to watch out for. And you know, as I own this, just there's a lot of little stuff where it would be good if you had someone here who lived in the apartment who could take care of the little stuff and keep it going. Because like I said before, I'm here a lot right now. I just bought the property, but my plan is not to be here all the time for the rest of my life. That's for sure. See, they're stopping now because of the car. Free marketing. Well, now that storm is getting closer, so I've got to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Love hearing what people think, the comments, all that. Love seeing new subscribers, of course. And if you want to stick around and see what we can do with this, that would be pretty cool. Hopefully, after we spend some money and fix it up, it's all worthwhile. But we shall see. Expecting this on the way home. Dead cow truck. Those don't smell very good. I made it back before the rain. It doesn't look as serious as it did earlier, and I don't think there's any hail risk yet, but luckily I've got an office garage. I can pull out the Audi. It's already got hail damage. Pull in the Diablo, and then I can finish all my work and uploading my videos and editing them and getting them ready for everyone to watch. So it is really nice having an office garage and not having to go home and waste a whole bunch of time switching cars out that way, because Colorado does have some crazy weather. I know some of you like the car content and some don't like it, but I've been doing TikTok lives in my garages lately and they've been doing really well and it's been a lot of fun. So if you guys want to talk about cars or real estate or whatever live with me, check out Invest for More TikTok. I do that quite a bit and it's been a lot of fun. And the Diablo is definitely not a narrow car. It squeezes into those lifts, but when you go all the way back, there's barely clearance for the mirrors. And I did park it about below one of my lifts at my house for years, and it was really nice bringing these lifts to the office, and now the Diablo can park in a normal garage spot.